Miami beat Virginia Tech, number 13 Miami 34-17. And, not maybe not as dominant as the score indicated because you did score late, but
Mhm.
heck, good. Score late because I'm not
Yeah.
sure all these people are watching. So make sure 34-17 looks better than a one-score game or two-score game. Carson Beck was 27 of 32 for 320 and 4 touchdowns. He was really good. Malachi Toney was freaky Mac, 12 catches for 146. I think the main thing this game was kinda, like, to be honest, a little boring. It kinda just felt like Virginia Tech couldn't they weren't good enough to win the game, and Miami was just not sleepwalking. Like, I thought they were focused enough, but it wasn't, the Syracuse or NC State or whatever, and of course, it was in Lane Stadium. James Franklin was there. There was a lot of motivation for Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
My main thing for Miami, Mac, is still they couldn't really run it, which
Mhm.
concerns me, and then they did have 9 penalties for 88 yards. Like, how are we still doing that,
Mhm.
Miami?
I
But
know.
they won. The score looks pretty good, so we'll take it.
Yeah, yeah, and it was. I mean, it's frustrating that you can't run the ball, right? Like that's again, it's supposed to be your mo, and you had gotten back to it, and I'm even showing a tape, of all these great runs and how they're doing different things, and you're going against a team that prides themselves on stopping the run in a place that's hard to play, and new coach, all that juice. So I get it, but also I don't get it. Just be who you are. Who cares where you're playing or who you're playing? You're supposed to do your thing. And then they couldn't stop the run. I mean, they gave up 200 yards rushing, to a team that, is really, they've struggled all year. I mean, it's not like Virginia Tech is some powerhouse of an offense here. So that's a little bit concerning to me. But again, at the end of the day, I thought it was a great win and getting it done on the road. Carson Beck, one of his best games of the year, very clean, very efficient. Some nice deep balls, getting the ball out, guys, quickly. You mentioned Malachi Tony, how special that dude is. I mean, he's fun to watch. He's just a baller. Put him anywhere, get him the ball any way you can, let him create. Was really, really fun to watch here. And then just to see this opportunity for Miami. Listen, none of the, I believe, top 15 or top 14, whatever it ends up being, lost. And so what happens? When this college football playoff, ranking comes out on Tuesday, is there any shakeup? Does anybody move closer? What kind of probably not. And that means, how important this next week coming into week 14 is really going to be as your, potential last, hurrah for a lot of these teams that aren't playing in a conference championship weekend. And Miami is going to most likely be one of them. So you've really got to put it on and specifically looking at like what Notre Dame did, and we'll transition maybe to them next year. They know that, and they put a hurting on Syracuse, 70-7. They probably let them score 7. They didn't need to do that. They allowed them to do that. Probably could have scored 100 if they really wanted to. Miami has to have that in mind when they play Pittsburgh. Obviously, win the game. You just saw what happened. They have the ability to beat you, handling Georgia Tech the way that they did. But if you have the opportunity, you have to again score in bunches and have those type of style points there. So we'll see. It's going to be a fascinating end of week here, and we're going to have a lot to talk about come Friday.
Well, and we talked about this with Miami and we said this a couple weeks ago. I was like, okay, best case scenario, Miami, is Louisville wins the league,
Hmm.
and then that helps your strength of schedule. Now, Louisville has tanked. We will get to them next.
They're trying to get a
But
high draft pick. KG, did you know that?
yeah, right. But flip it. Best case scenario now for Notre Dame, and I think this is actually just as good as that would have been.
Hmm.
SMU wins the league. If SMU wins the league, they win. They beat Cal, who doesn't have a coach anymore.
Hmm.
Then they beat probably Virginia in the ACC championship. Then not your one loss, you have two, but one of your losses is to an ACC champion who's in the field.
Hmm.
That's super interesting, and it just goes to show, Mac, how much can change in college football.